On a quiet morning in February 2013, people in the Russian city of Chelyabinsk were starting their day like any other. Cars were driving to work. Students were walking to school. The sky above the city looked completely normal. Then suddenly, a blinding flash streaked across the sky. A few seconds later, a powerful shockwave shattered thousands of windows across the city. People looked up in confusion, trying to understand what had just happened. The cause was something that had traveled millions of kilometers through space before arriving above Earth, a small asteroid. Even though the asteroid was only about 20 meters wide, the explosion released energy equivalent to nearly 30 atomic bombs. What shocked scientists the most was not the explosion itself. It was the fact that nobody saw it coming. This event became a reminder that space is not just a beautiful backdrop filled with stars. It is an active, constantly changing environment filled with powerful forces. And every year, scientists discover new evidence showing just how dynamic our cosmic neighborhood really is. Some of these discoveries reveal fascinating mysteries of the universe. Others remind us how important it is to understand the space around our planet. Because Earth is not isolated. It is moving through a cosmic environment filled with asteroids, solar storms, and powerful energy coming from distant stars. And sometimes, those forces can reach us. Take asteroids, for example. Scientists have identified thousands of objects whose orbits bring them relatively close to Earth. These are called near-Earth asteroids. Many of them are harmless, passing millions of kilometers away from our planet. But some are large enough that scientists monitor them very carefully. The good news is that space agencies around the world have become extremely good at tracking large asteroids. In fact, astronomers believe that more than 90% of the largest near-Earth asteroids have already been discovered. However, smaller objects remain much harder to detect. Some asteroids approach Earth from the direction of the Sun, making them difficult for ground-based telescopes to see. That is one of the reasons NASA is developing new space telescopes designed specifically to detect these objects earlier. The goal is simple: the earlier we detect an asteroid, the more options we have to prevent a potential impact. But asteroids are only one piece of the puzzle. Another powerful force influencing Earth comes from something we see every single day: the Sun. At first glance, the Sun appears calm and stable. But in reality, it is an incredibly active star. The surface of the Sun constantly erupts with massive bursts of energy, called solar flares and coronal mass ejections. These eruptions can launch billions of tons of charged particles into space. When those particles travel toward Earth, they interact with our planet's magnetic field. Most of the time, this interaction creates something beautiful: the northern and southern lights. But under the right conditions, solar storms can also affect technology. Satellites, communication systems, and power grids can all be influenced by strong bursts of solar activity. Scientists often look back at a historic event known as the Carrington event in 1859. During that solar storm, telegraph systems across the world sparked and malfunctioned. Operators even reported sparks jumping from their equipment. Today, our world depends far more heavily on technology, which is why scientists closely monitor the Sun. Far beyond our solar system, astronomers have discovered some of the most energetic events ever observed. These events are called gamma-ray bursts. Gamma-ray bursts occur when massive stars collapse or when neutron stars collide. For a brief moment, they release enormous amounts of energy. In fact, a single gamma-ray burst can produce more energy in a few seconds than the sun will generate over billions of years. Fortunately, most gamma-ray bursts occur extremely far away from Earth. But studying them helps researchers understand the most extreme physics in the universe. Closer to home, scientists have also been studying an asteroid called Bennu. NASA's OSIRIS-RX spacecraft visited Bennu and discovered that it is not a solid rock. Instead, it is a rubble pile asteroid made of many smaller rocks loosely held together by gravity. Understanding objects like Bennu helps scientists design better planetary defense strategies. In 2022, NASA tested one of those strategies with the DART mission. A spacecraft intentionally crashed into a small asteroid called Dimorphos. The goal was to see if a spacecraft could change the asteroid's orbit. The mission worked. For the first time in history, humanity successfully altered the path of a celestial object. Finally, astronomers have discovered something even stranger in our galaxy: rogue planets. These planets do not orbit any star. Instead, they drift through the galaxy alone. Scientists estimate there could be billions of rogue planets in the Milky Way. Their existence shows that planetary systems can be far more dynamic than we once believed. When we step back and look at these discoveries together, one thing becomes clear. The universe is not quiet or static. It is constantly changing. Stars are born and destroyed. Planets form, collide, and sometimes drift into deep space. Asteroids travel silently through the darkness. And powerful cosmic events release energy on unimaginable scales. Yet despite all these forces, Earth has remained a stable home for billions of years. Protected by its atmosphere, magnetic field, and a bit of cosmic luck. But the more scientists study the universe, the more they realize how important it is to understand the space around us. Because every new discovery teaches us something about how our planet fits into the larger cosmic story.